You deserve a love that feels true, fulfilling, and extraordinary. The secret isn't about changing yourself to fit someone else's expectations. It's about developing qualities that make you naturally captivating. Have you ever felt like no matter what you try, the spark fizzles out or connections just don't stick? If so, you're not alone. Imagine relationships like a garden. Some people scatter seeds everywhere, hoping something takes root, while others carefully cultivate their soil, ensuring it's rich and ready for growth. Which approach do you think thrives in the long term? The same goes for love. It's not about chasing attention or impressing others. It's about becoming the version of yourself that effortlessly draws the right person in. In this video, we'll uncover the powerful principles of Stoic philosophy designed to transform not just how you attract men, but how you connect deeply and authentically. You'll learn why confidence, emotional intelligence, and the art of balance matter more than looks or grand gestures. And I'll share practical examples that you can start using today to become the woman who turns heads and wins hearts, without even trying. Stay with me until the end, because we're diving into insights that can change your life. What quality do you think is most attractive in a relationship? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get started. 1. Confidence is contagious. Confidence is magnetic. It's not the loud, over-the-top kind, but the quiet, steady self-assurance that makes others feel at ease. A confident woman has a certain aura about her. It's the way she walks into a room with calm energy, the way she speaks without rushing, and how she doesn't seek approval from anyone. This kind of confidence naturally draws people in, especially men. Why? Because it signals security. A man is instinctively drawn to someone who knows her worth and doesn't need validation to feel complete. It's not about impressing him. It's about showing up as your best self and letting him feel the stability you bring to the table. When a man encounters this energy, he can't help but admire it. He feels inspired, even challenged, to rise to meet your level. It's not about competing. It's about creating an environment where respect and admiration thrive. Confidence doesn't just make you attractive, it makes you irresistible. And here's the truth. This kind of confidence starts with how you view yourself. The more you appreciate your own value, the more the world reflects it back to you. Let's connect this to Stoic philosophy. Stoics believed in focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. Your confidence shouldn't rely on external validation because those are factors you can't control. Instead, it should come from your inner mastery. Think of yourself as a tree deeply rooted in the ground. No matter how strong the wind blows, you remain steady because you've cultivated inner strength. This steadiness is what captivates people. For instance, imagine walking into a social gathering where you don't know many people. While others might nervously check their phones or look around for someone familiar, you walk in grounded, smiling, and radiating calm energy. You make eye contact, you listen more than you speak, and when you do speak, your words are deliberate and meaningful. The room takes notice, not because you're trying to command attention, but because you exude something rare: self-assurance. Now, let's bring this closer to you. Think about a time when you felt truly proud of something you achieved, a project you completed, a skill you mastered, or even a small goal you reached after consistent effort. That pride wasn't just about the outcome. It was about the journey, the work you put in, and the growth you experienced along the way. This is the kind of confidence that draws people in because it's real, and it's rooted in something deeper than appearance or external success. Here's the beauty of it. When you love yourself enough to acknowledge your strengths and accept your imperfections, you radiate a kind of warmth that others are naturally drawn to. You don't need to prove anything because you're already enough, and that sense of enoughness is intoxicating. When you embody this, the right man won't just notice you, he'll actively seek to be part of your world. To make this practical, start small. Set one daily goal that aligns with something meaningful to you. Maybe it's a short morning walk to clear your mind, or dedicating 10 minutes to a hobby you've been neglecting. Each step builds a foundation of self-trust, and self-trust is the bedrock of confidence. The more you show up for yourself, the more confident you become, and the more naturally attractive you are. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly celebrated yourself? Not for someone else's validation, but just because you're proud of who you are. Share your answer in the comments. Your journey to confidence doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. And when that shift happens, everything else falls into place. 2. It's not about looks, it's about presence. When it comes to attraction, society often places far too much emphasis on looks. But here's the truth, physical beauty might catch someone's attention, but it's your presence that keeps them intrigued. Presence is about how you make someone feel when they're around you. It's the calm, grounded energy you bring into a conversation, the warmth in your smile, and the way you make them feel seen. This is what truly captivates a man and makes him want to know more about you. Men don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with the way a woman makes them feel at ease. When you embody a peaceful, grounded presence, you create a space where they can let their guard down and be themselves. This connection is rare, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful. It's not about impressing him with witty comebacks or flashy appearances. Instead, it's about showing up fully in the moment, listening deeply, and being genuinely engaged. Now let's connect this to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics teach us to focus on the present moment, not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By practicing mindfulness and anchoring yourself in the present, you radiate a calm and magnetic energy that others naturally gravitate toward. Think of yourself as a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. While everything else may feel chaotic, your steady presence becomes a guiding light for those around you. Imagine this scenario. You're on a first date at a cozy little cafe. The man across from you starts sharing a story about a challenging time in his life. Instead of glancing at your phone or thinking about what to say next, you give him your undivided attention. You nod, maintain gentle eye contact, and let your body language show that you're fully present. He notices the way you're truly listening, and something shifts. He feels safe, valued, and understood. In that moment, it's not your outfit or your makeup that's capturing his heart. It's your ability to be present and connect with him on a deeper level. Now think about your own life. Have you ever felt that someone wasn't fully listening to you? Maybe they were distracted or too preoccupied with their own thoughts to really hear what you were saying. It's frustrating, isn't it? On the other hand, when someone gives you their full attention, it feels like you matter, like you're important. That's the power of presence. It's a gift you give not just to others, but to yourself. To develop this quality, start small. Take a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness. It could be as simple as focusing on your breathing, observing your surroundings without judgment, or being fully present in a conversation. When you train your mind to stay in the moment, you'll notice how much calmer and more centered you feel. This calmness is what others will pick up on and find irresistible. From a Stoic perspective, this practice of mindfulness isn't just a technique, it's a way of life. It helps you detach from distractions and focus on what truly matters, your actions, your emotions, and your ability to connect authentically. When you embody this grounded presence, you'll find that the right man doesn't just notice you, he's drawn to you like a moth to a flame. Your energy becomes a place of peace in a world that often feels chaotic. Ask yourself, when was the last time you were truly present in a moment? Whether it was a conversation, a quiet walk, or simply enjoying your own company. How did it feel to let go of distractions and just be? Share your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, the more you nurture your inner peace, the more it reflects outward, creating a magnetic presence that no one can ignore. 3. The power of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of the most attractive qualities you can develop. It's not about suppressing your feelings or putting on a mask to please others. It's about understanding your emotions, managing them with grace, and connecting with others on a deeper level. Men are instinctively drawn to women who exhibit emotional stability. Why? Because it creates a sense of safety. When you're in control of your emotions, you become someone he can trust, someone who won't overreact or let small challenges derail the relationship. Imagine a man who's had a rough day. He walks into the room carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Instead of meeting his frustration with your own, you greet him with calmness and understanding. You listen, you empathize, and you don't let his mood dictate yours. In that moment, he feels something rare: relief. He's not just drawn to you because of how you look or what you say, but because of how you make him feel. He sees in you the emotional balance that he craves in his own life. This emotional strength doesn't come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from doing the inner work to understand what triggers you, what calms you, and how to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Stoic philosophy aligns perfectly here. The Stoics believed in the importance of mastering your inner world, recognizing that while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. By practicing emotional regulation, you create a space for love to grow without the chaos of unchecked emotions. Picture this. You're planning a date and something goes wrong. A reservation is lost, or the weather suddenly turns bad. Instead of panicking or letting it ruin your mood, you smile and suggest an alternative plan. You laugh at the unexpected, turning it into an adventure. In that moment, he isn't thinking about the ruined plans. He's noticing your resilience, your ability to adapt, and how effortlessly you turn challenges into opportunities. That kind of composure isn't just attractive, it's unforgettable. Now think about your own life. How often do you find yourself reacting quickly to a frustrating situation? Maybe it's a rude comment, a missed opportunity, or a minor inconvenience. What if, instead of reacting, you paused? What if you gave yourself a moment to breathe, reflect, and choose your response? This small shift can transform not only how you handle challenges, but also how others perceive you. Men notice this. They see the calm confidence in how you carry yourself, and can't help but be drawn to it. To cultivate emotional intelligence, start by journaling your thoughts and feelings daily. This helps you identify patterns and recognize what triggers strong emotions in you. Practice mindfulness exercises, such as deep breathing or guided meditation, to stay grounded in tense moments. Over time, you'll notice a shift, not just in how you feel, but in how people respond to you. Your emotional balance becomes a quiet power that others can't ignore. From a Stoic perspective, this inner mastery is a lifelong journey. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but understanding them deeply so they no longer control you. The Stoics remind us that true strength comes from within, from the ability to remain steady amidst life's inevitable storms. And when you embody this emotional steadiness, the right man will be captivated, not just by your outward beauty, but by the peace and strength you exude. Let me ask you, how do you currently handle moments of frustration or disappointment? Do you react immediately, or do you take a moment to reflect? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, the more you nurture your emotional resilience, the more naturally magnetic you become. When you master your emotions, you not only transform your relationships, but also elevate every aspect of your life. And that is truly irresistible. 4. Authenticity over perfection. Authenticity is a quality that captivates like no other. In a world where so many people feel the pressure to be perfect, there's something deeply refreshing about someone who embraces their true self. When you're authentic, you're not trying to be someone else or conform to unrealistic standards. Instead, you stand confidently in your uniqueness, flaws, and all. This confidence, rooted in self-acceptance, is incredibly attractive to men. It shows them that you're not afraid to be real, and that honesty creates trust, a foundation for any meaningful relationship. Men are drawn to authenticity because it offers something they rarely encounter: a genuine connection. When you're comfortable being yourself, you give them permission to do the same. This makes them feel safe, understood, and valued. They don't have to guess who you are or navigate through a facade. What they see is what they get. This clarity and openness are irresistible, especially in today's emotionally complex world. Think about it. Stoic philosophy celebrates the idea of self-acceptance. The Stoics teach us to focus on what's within our control, like our thoughts, values, and actions, rather than chasing perfection or seeking validation from others. When you embrace your authentic self, you're living in alignment with your values, free from the anxiety of trying to meet external expectations. This inner peace radiates outward, and it's this calm confidence that draws people to you. Imagine this. You're having a conversation with someone new. And instead of trying to impress them with rehearsed stories or exaggerated achievements, you share something honest about yourself, a hobby you love, a challenge you've overcome, or even a funny mistake you made. The person across from you isn't just listening, they're engaged, smiling, and leaning in. Why? Because your authenticity creates a space for genuine connection. It's not about being impressive, it's about being real. Now let's bring this closer to your experience. Have you ever met someone who felt so comfortable in their skin that it made you feel more at ease? It's contagious, isn't it? That's the power of authenticity. It invites others to let their guard down and connect with you on a deeper level. Men, in particular, find this quality compelling because it signals emotional strength and self-awareness, traits that are often overlooked but deeply valued. To nurture your authenticity, start by recognizing and celebrating your unique qualities. Spend time reflecting on your values and passions. What lights you up? What makes you feel alive? Lean into those things without worrying about how they'll be perceived. The more you embrace who you are, the more naturally confident and attractive you'll become. From a Stoic perspective, this practice of self-acceptance is transformative. The Stoics remind us that true freedom comes from living authentically, not being shackled by the fear of judgment or rejection. They encourage us to focus on our inner world, our character, our choices, our values, because that's where true beauty lies. And when you live this way, you become a magnet for the kind of connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Here's a challenge. The next time you feel tempted to downplay your quirks or conform to someone else's expectations, pause and remind yourself of your worth. Instead of hiding your uniqueness, let it shine. It's not your perfection that makes you captivating, it's your authenticity. Let me ask you, what's one thing about yourself that you've been afraid to share with others? Maybe it's a passion you think others won't understand, or a side of you that feels vulnerable. Share it in the comments if you feel comfortable. When you own who you are, you invite the world to love you for it. And that kind of love is worth everything. 5. Be the calm in his storm. In a world full of noise and chaos, being a source of calm is a rare and precious gift. It's not about being passive or indifferent, but about exuding a sense of balance and emotional steadiness that draws people in. Men, especially in today's fast-paced world, are often juggling their own stress and challenges. When they meet a woman who can maintain her composure and bring a sense of peace to their lives, it's not just attractive, it's transformative. Think about it. How does a man feel when he's around someone who isn't rattled by small setbacks or petty drama? He feels at ease. He sees someone who can navigate life's challenges with grace, someone who doesn't let external circumstances dictate her emotions. This calmness isn't just comforting, it's inspiring. It makes him want to rise to the same level, to be the kind of man who complements your stability and strength. This idea aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that true power comes from controlling your inner world, not being swayed by external events. They taught that peace comes from within, from mastering your emotions and focusing on what you can control. When you embody this principle, you create an atmosphere of trust and stability that's irresistible to the right man. Imagine this. You're on a date, and the waiter spills a drink on the table. Instead of reacting with frustration or embarrassment, you smile and say, "No worries, these things happen." Your calm demeanor not only eases the situation, but also sends a message. Nothing can shake your inner peace. In that moment, he sees someone who handles life's little hiccups with grace, and that impression stays with him long after the date ends. Now let's relate this to your own life. How do you typically respond when things don't go as planned? Maybe it's a last-minute cancellation or a minor inconvenience that disrupts your day. Do you let it ruin your mood, or do you take a breath and adapt? When you practice staying calm in these moments, you're not just managing stress, you're showing yourself and others that you're in control. And this control is deeply attractive because it signals emotional maturity. To cultivate this sense of calm, start with small steps. Practice mindfulness daily, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Focus on your breathing, notice your surroundings, and let go of any tension you're holding onto. Over time, this practice will help you stay grounded, even in stressful situations. Additionally, Reflect on your triggers, those moments that tend to shake your composure, and think about how you can respond differently next time. From a Stoic perspective, this approach is about finding peace in imperfection. Life is unpredictable, and we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react. When you embrace this mindset, you stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a master of your emotions. This mastery not only benefits you, but also creates a ripple effect in your relationships. Imagine the kind of energy you bring to a room when you're calm and centered. People notice, they feel it, and men in particular are drawn to this kind of quiet strength. It's not about being flashy or dramatic. It's about being a steady presence in a world that often feels overwhelming. So, let me ask you, when was the last time you stayed calm in a situation that could have easily frustrated you? How did it feel to keep your peace and move forward without letting the moment control you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, the more you nurture your inner calm, the more it reflects outward, creating a magnetic presence that no one can ignore. And when you bring this calmness into your relationships, you'll find that the right person isn't just drawn to you. They're captivated by the peace you bring into their life. 6. Listen more, speak with intention. In a world where everyone seems to talk but few truly listen, the ability to genuinely hear someone is rare and profoundly impactful. When you listen deeply, you create a space for connection that no amount of clever words or grand gestures can replicate. This isn't just about hearing his words, it's about understanding his feelings, his needs, and what he may not even say out loud. Men are drawn to this kind of attentiveness because it shows them that they matter. It's not about agreeing with everything or solving his problems. It's about making him feel valued and understood. When a man feels that his words are truly heard, his guard comes down. He begins to trust you on a deeper level, knowing that he doesn't need to impress or prove himself. This trust is what leads to intimacy, and intimacy is where love begins. Your ability to listen with presence and intention is like offering him a mirror where he can see the best version of himself. It's subtle yet powerful, and it makes him want to be around you more. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of understanding before acting. The Stoics taught that wisdom begins with listening to others, to yourself, and to the world around you. This kind of intentional listening allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. When you practice this, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also cultivate your own emotional intelligence and peace of mind. Imagine you're on a walk with someone you care about. As he talks about his day, you're not just nodding absent-mindedly or waiting for your turn to speak. Instead, you're fully present, noticing his tone, the way he pauses, the emotion behind his words. You might respond with something as simple as, "It sounds like that was really challenging for you. How did it make you feel?" In that moment, he feels a connection, like he's not just talking to someone, but truly being seen. This simple act of listening has the power to transform how he perceives you. Now, let's apply this to your own life. Think about a recent conversation you had with a friend, family member, or partner. Were you fully present, or were you distracted? Mentally preparing your response or checking your phone? Imagine how that conversation might have felt different if you'd been fully engaged. This kind of presence isn't just beneficial to your relationships, it's a gift you give to yourself. When you listen deeply, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed by the need to perform or impress. Instead, you're simply there, experiencing the moment as it unfolds. To cultivate this skill, start small. The next time you're in a conversation, practice active listening. Maintain eye contact, resist the urge to interrupt, and focus on the emotions behind the words. Reflect back on what you hear to show that you understand. This doesn't just make the other person feel valued, it strengthens your connection and builds trust over time. From a Stoic perspective, listening is a practice of humility. It requires setting aside your own ego and desires to truly understand another person. The Stoics remind us that wisdom often comes from silence, not the silence of passivity, but the intentional silence that allows others to share their truth. When you embody this principle, you become a calming, magnetic presence in any relationship. Picture how it feels to be in the company of someone who listens to you with genuine interest and care. It's refreshing, isn't it? This is the gift you offer to others when you cultivate the art of intentional listening. It's not about perfecting your words or dominating the conversation. It's about showing up fully and creating a space where trust and connection can flourish. This is what makes you unforgettable, and it's what draws the right man closer to you. Not through force, but through the quiet power of your attention. 7. Balance, independence, and connection. Independence is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can have, but so is the ability to create meaningful connections. When you master the balance between the two, you become magnetic. Men are naturally drawn to women who have fulfilling lives of their own, yet know how to build a bridge of connection in a relationship. This balance tells him you're not looking for someone to complete you, you're already complete, but you're open to sharing your life with him. When a man sees you thriving in your independence, pursuing your passions, and maintaining your friendships, he feels inspired. Your autonomy shows him that you're not dependent on him for your happiness. At the same time, your ability to connect through genuine care, shared laughter, and emotional presence makes him feel valued. This combination of strength and openness is irresistible. It invites him to step into a partnership that is equal and enriching. Stoic philosophy offers a beautiful framework for this balance. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency, emphasizing the importance of finding contentment within yourself. At the same time, they valued relationships, recognizing that meaningful connections enrich our lives. To live in harmony, they taught, is to embrace both your independence and your interdependence with others. When you embody this philosophy, you radiate confidence and compassion, creating a space where love can flourish without dependence or control. Imagine this. You've had a busy day pursuing your own goals, working on a creative project, spending time with friends, or indulging in a passion that lights you up. Later, when you meet him for dinner, you bring that vibrant energy into the room. You share stories of your day, not to impress him, but because you're genuinely excited about your life. As you connect over dinner, he's drawn not just to your stories, but to the way your independence enhances your presence. It's clear that you value your individuality, and that makes your connection with him feel even more special. Now think about your own life. Do you make time for the things that bring you joy outside of a relationship? Are you pursuing hobbies, friendships, or personal goals that fuel your growth? If not, ask yourself why. Independence doesn't mean distancing yourself from others. It means nurturing the parts of your life that make you whole. This wholeness is what allows you to connect with someone from a place of abundance rather than need. To cultivate this balance, start by setting aside time each week to focus on your passions and relationships outside of romance. Whether it's joining a book club, taking a class, or spending quality time with friends, these activities reinforce your sense of self. At the same time, be intentional about how you connect with him. When you're together, be fully present. Show interest in his life, share your thoughts openly, and create moments of genuine connection. From a Stoic perspective, this balance reflects the principle of moderation. The Stoics taught that excess in any area, whether it's isolation or overdependence, leads to imbalance. By fostering both independence and connection, you create a life that is stable, joyful, and deeply fulfilling. This stability is magnetic because it reflects emotional resilience and strength. Picture the impression you leave when you embody this balance. You're the woman who knows who she is, what she wants, and how to create meaningful connections. He sees someone who enhances his life without taking away from his own independence. This dynamic is what builds not just attraction, but lasting respect and admiration. When you love yourself enough to prioritize your own growth while inviting someone into your world, you create a relationship built on mutual respect and shared joy. This kind of love is rare, but it's the kind that transforms lives. By balancing independence and connection, you don't just draw him closer, you create a partnership where both of you thrive. 8. Thoughtful actions speak louder than words. When it comes to capturing a man's heart, grand gestures aren't the secret. It's the small, thoughtful actions that leave a lasting impression. These are the moments that show him you see him, that you're paying attention to the details of who he is. Thoughtfulness creates a sense of intimacy that no elaborate display could match. It's not about impressing him. It's about making him feel valued in ways that go deeper than words. Men are drawn to these acts of genuine care because they feel rare and personal. Imagine the impact of remembering a small detail he casually mentioned, a favorite author, a childhood memory, or a professional goal, and surprising him with something that reflects your attentiveness. It's not the object or the act itself that captures his attention. It's the message behind it. I notice you, I appreciate you, and I care. Stoic philosophy reminds us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our intentions, and the effort we put into meaningful connections. The Stoics believed that actions aligned with values carry far more weight than empty words or superficial promises. By practicing thoughtfulness in your relationships, you align your actions with your intent to build trust and connection. Picture this. He tells you about a stressful meeting he has coming up at work. Instead of just wishing him luck, you leave a small note of encouragement in his bag or send a quick message reminding him of how capable he is. That small gesture can shift his entire mindset, making him feel supported and confident. It's not extravagant, but it's powerful because it shows you're present in his life in meaningful ways. Now think about your own life. How do you show thoughtfulness to the people you care about? Do you notice the little things that make them smile? Or are you caught up in the rush of life, letting those moments slip by? Thoughtfulness doesn't require grand effort. It only asks for awareness. Pay attention to what matters to him, what excites him, what he's passionate about, and even what challenges he's facing. When you act on this awareness, it deepens your bond and makes you unforgettable. To cultivate this habit, start by listening more closely in your conversations. Keep a mental note of things he mentions, even if they seem minor. When you act on these small details, it shows that you value his presence and genuinely care about his happiness. This practice isn't just for him, it's for you too. It nurtures your ability to connect deeply and authentically with others. From a Stoic perspective, thoughtful actions reflect the virtue of kindness. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, emphasized that our purpose in life is to contribute to the well-being of those around us. Thoughtfulness isn't about seeking recognition. It's about fostering connections through genuine care. When you make this a part of who you are, you create an environment where love can grow naturally and effortlessly. Imagine how it feels to be the person who consistently brings light and care into someone's life. Not through grand declarations, but through quiet, consistent acts of kindness. It's like tending a garden, nurturing it with small, steady actions until it blooms beautifully. This is how relationships thrive. Thoughtfulness also nurtures your own self-love. When you act with care toward others, you reinforce the value of kindness and attention within yourself. It becomes a reflection of the love you have cultivated inside, radiating outward in ways that others can't help but notice. Remember, it's the small gestures that matter most. They speak volumes about your character, your emotional depth, and your ability to connect. These are the qualities that draw a man closer, not because you're trying to win his affection, but because you're showing him what real connection feels like. And when you do this, you don't just captivate him, you inspire him to be a better version of himself. 9. Master the art of patience. Patience is a rare and undervalued virtue, but it's one of the most compelling traits you can develop. In relationships, patience isn't about waiting passively. It's about having the grace to let things unfold naturally, the wisdom to know when to pause, and the strength to resist the urge to control every outcome. When you embody patience, you communicate that you're secure within yourself. And that security is deeply attractive to men because it creates space for a genuine connection to grow without pressure or fear. A man will notice when you approach relationships with a calm, steady presence. He won't feel rushed to meet your expectations or pressured to prove himself. Instead, he'll feel drawn to the way you trust the process, allowing the relationship to evolve at its own pace. This sense of ease makes him want to invest more, knowing that your connection isn't built on fleeting emotions, but on mutual respect and understanding. This aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy. The Stoics taught that impatience is often rooted in fear fear of uncertainty, fear of loss, or fear of being left behind. But when you cultivate patience, you replace fear with trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust that what's meant for you will come at the right time. This doesn't mean being passive, it means acting with intention and letting go of what you cannot control. Imagine a seed being planted in the soil. No matter how much you water it, or how eager you are to see it bloom, it takes time to grow. If you dig it up too soon or rush the process, you ruin the potential. But if you nurture it patiently, providing care without forcing the outcome, it will flourish. Relationships are no different. Patience allows love to grow deep roots, creating something far more meaningful than a rushed connection could ever achieve. Let's take a relatable scenario. You've started seeing someone, and everything feels promising. But instead of overanalyzing his every word or action, you allow yourself to enjoy the present moment. You don't text him constantly to seek validation or worry about when he'll call next. Instead, you focus on your own life, your passions, your friendships, your growth, while letting the relationship develop organically. This approach doesn't just relieve you of unnecessary stress, it also makes you irresistible. Why? Because it shows him that your happiness doesn't hinge on his actions. In your own life, patience might look like taking a step back when you're tempted to push forward. Maybe it's resisting the urge to send that extra text when he hasn't replied yet. Or perhaps it's allowing yourself to savor the getting to know you phase without rushing to define what it all means. This patience signals confidence and emotional resilience, making it clear that you're not chasing anyone, you're inviting them into your life at the right time. From a Stoic perspective, patience is about focusing on what you can control: your actions, your emotions, and your mindset. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events that happen, and a violent stream, for as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away, and another comes in its place." This reminds us that life moves forward at its rhythm. By accepting this flow, you become less anxious and more grounded, which creates a sense of inner peace that others find magnetic. Think about how it feels to be around someone patient, not just with others but with themselves. They exude a quiet strength, an unshakable calm that draws you in. This is the energy you bring when you embrace patience in your relationships. It's not about letting go of your desires. It's about trusting that the right things will come to you without force or fear. When you love yourself enough to practice patience, you cultivate a beauty that's more than skin deep. It's a beauty rooted in your ability to trust the process, to let go of control, and to embrace the journey as it unfolds. And when you embody this, you won't just attract love, you'll inspire it to grow in the most profound and lasting ways. As we bring this journey to a close, let's reflect on the wisdom we've uncovered. The secret to attracting and deeply connecting with the right man lies not in chasing perfection or playing games, but in becoming the best version of yourself. Confidence, presence, emotional intelligence, authenticity, calmness, and patience, each of these qualities transform not only your relationships, but also your sense of self. When you embrace these principles, rooted in Stoic philosophy, you stop seeking validation from others. Instead, you build a life that reflects your values, resilience, and inner peace. This journey is not about fixing what's wrong with you, but about nurturing what's already beautiful within you. When you love yourself fully, you create an energy that draws the right people into your life effortlessly. Imagine how your life could change if you practice these lessons every day. Start small. Take a few minutes each morning to center yourself with gratitude. Or end your day by reflecting on moments when you chose to be present or patient. These small, consistent steps build the foundation for deeper connections and emotional stability. Remember, personal growth isn't just about relationships. It's about creating a life of purpose, joy, and peace. And as you focus on becoming the person you're meant to be, the love you seek will naturally find its way to you. If this resonates with you, take a moment to share your story. What's one way you've started applying these principles in your life? Or what challenges have you faced in finding that balance of independence, connection, and emotional resilience? Share your thoughts below. Your journey matters, and your story could inspire someone else to begin theirs. Let's continue building a life of love, strength, and authenticity together.